That's really dangerous.
But I have to say it.
Yeah.
How much, because we know what he was able to do with Watchmen, right? How much of what he did in the DC world, how much of that you don't like, how do you know that that was his fault or was not his fault? And what was tampering and what was not tampering?
I was trying to, okay, I'll be short.
Yeah.
I think Man of Steel is a very interesting and a good movie. I actually think Man of Steel is a good movie. If it was like based on a different character that was exactly the same as Superman, I think I would be totally down with it. It's beautiful. It's the work of a unchecked auteur in every way. They let him do anything he wanted. And it is in some ways completely insane. But it also reads to me like it's Lex Luthor made propaganda against Superman, the whole thing, the entire thing. I love it. I love looking at it. I think the score is a masterpiece. It's a beautiful movie. The casting is incredible. It's not the quality that's the problem. And you know what I mean? To me, gotcha. It's
aesthetically you're satisfied.
Aesthetically, I'm satisfied, but I'm trying to may say this short, and it's making me stumble. In that movie, the one quality of Superman that I want in all Supermen, all portrayals, is I want to feel safe around. if I see Superman, I want to know if I was standing next to him and he was talking to me, I'd feel safe. I know that all that power is well managed in a well managed mind that has no doubts. Zack Snyder's Superman is not stable, and he's emotionally complex, which I get why people like that, but I'm also like, it scares me. There's parts of that movie where I'm like, he's scary. I wouldn't want to be around him, and he's not.
Superman is also very much, people are always comparing Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
But Superman, the ideals of Superman parallel Captain America, right? Like in the sense of like
Marvel
pureness,
like they're not the same character, but
no, they're
it's
not.
Weird that with the combination of Thor and Captain America, I got my Superman from the MCU for all these years. Like I got like the purity and I got the physics of Superman from both of those guys, and DC didn't give that to me all these years.
Right.
But and Zack Snyder's the only guy I think so far to ever truly show what a Kryptonian can do with the powers on screen. Like you know what I mean? Like I feel like it's weird to me that he made Batman vs Superman, because if you watch Man of Steel, you're like, yeah, Batman doesn't have a chance. This is stupid. This is dumb.
Whoa. Okay, so now this is turned into Batman versus Superman, baby. Because I'm in the Batman side of things. I gotta tell you,
I'm always gonna be. I like. It's not like I don't like Batman. I love Batman.
No, but from what I can get, what I gather from what you're saying right now, the gist is that and this is true amongst comic book fans, like of our ilk, that it's always been. People always sort of stack things for Batman in a way because it's so interesting how a human can take on a god,
right?
That there's like I've thought this too, despite being a giant Batman fanboy.
I don't want them to fight. That's also the problem. I don't want them to fight each other. I don't want that. I want.
It really comes down to intellect. What it comes down to is the will of the human spirit versus someone with godlike abilities, and people find that very appealing. And people will weigh on the Batman side of things because of how stacked the odds are against him in terms of, and it's true. The thing that's often said about Batman is follows, and I think that this is true to the character, and I like this. It's this idea: given enough time and preparation, Batman can defeat anybody and do anything. And that's what makes him so dangerous.
I have close friends who've made this argument for literally 20 years, and I've been the guy arguing against it.
Yeah.
In the end, though, I think at this point in my life, I'm like, I just don't want them to fight anymore. I don't want that movie. It's not about who can win. I don't care anymore.
See, I've always wanted this movie. I wanted this from the moment that I saw that
Jeff,
Yeah.
but my favorite thing in the DC universe is the two of them being best friends and fighting together.
Well, eventually they do become best friends. And, I got to be honest with
Yeah.
you. I was pretty satisfied with Dawn of Justice. The Martha thing was stupid, obviously, but like I was pretty satisfied with Dawn of Justice in terms of like, the way they set it up, and then they had Doomsday come in, and he gets killed by Doomsday. They introduced Wonder Woman. I'm going, okay, they're kind of doing something here. I'm okay with this. Again, I'm not. Here's the thing:
Dawn of Justice is Batman. A different bag for me. Yeah, but
my point is they have. Well, isn't that Batman versus Superman is Dawn of Justice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying as opposed to Man of Steel.
Oh.
Man, a Man of Steel actually intrigues me. I love Man of Steel in many ways, but Batman versus Superman is a different beast to me. Shooting Jimmy Olsen in the head in the beginning, it's like, okay, so this is the movie we're doing. All right, gotcha.
They've fucked with Batman so many times at this point.
It doesn't matter, right? Yeah.
That I'm just like, all right, give me another iteration. Because I've learned. Here's the thing, and maybe that's why it's more precious for you. You've gotten so few compared to me with my Batman. You've had what? You had Christopher Reeve, then you had Brandon.
I mean, Reeve. There's TV too. Brandon Routh,
but I'm talking about,
the current television show, the new one is incredible. The new Superman and Lois, it's absolutely. It's one of the best.
I've not seen it.
It's amazing.
I love that animated series Superman was great.
I love that's one of my favorite cartoons.
That's like the best type of Superman right there.
Yeah, right. No, that's great. It's not that I try to like. I know people hate Zack Snyder. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus completely. Like I try to give him his due. There's, you know what I mean. But like, I think Henry Cavill looks like Superman. I want to see a movie where he is the one that we were building up to the whole time. I think that would.
I got to be honest with you. I never much cared. I never, maybe it's also because I just didn't have a horse in that race. I didn't think he was that great of a Superman, and I didn't really care what kind of Superman he was. I was there opening day on Man of Steel too, just to counter what I'm saying, my indifference. I wasn't even, and I got to be honest with you. I think Batflick was great. I thought he was fine. I thought he did a good job.
I got, Snyder's casting I've never had a problem with. I don't have a problem with it.
I think that Henry Cavill was just kind of like, I mean, he's okay. Like, I just didn't think.
Oh man, I think he's great, dude. But I think he's not good. He could be great. In other movies, I see the charisma of Superman, and it angers me that they're not in the Superman movies. Because there is I have an episode where me and my friends actually talk about Batman versus Superman the night we saw it. You would not want to listen to that. It is vicious. But in that, I say the line, he turned Batman into the Punisher. He turned Batman into the Punisher, and he turned Superman into Batman. And that angers me.
He is kind of the Punisher. He's kind of the Punisher in that movie.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, he like, you know how like politically they always say everything shifted to the right?
Yeah.
He shifted everything to the right, and I'm like, there's no Superman in this game anymore, and Batman's just the Punisher.
Yeah, but Batman, but part of Batman's personality is there is some Punisher inside of Batman, a little bit.
Oh yeah, Batman's kind of like the Punisher if he just didn't go all the way. I mean, that's kind of what Batman is. That's not. It's just
no. I would disagree with that. He's the thing about Batman that I find so intriguing is the fact that it's a man. He is nothing but he's nothing but human doing superhuman things. Like he's honed his body. He's traveled around the world. He's become the world's greatest detective. He goes toe to toe. He straps a a mother box on his body, and lets Darkseid beat the shit out of him. And Superman, Batman, Public Enemies, #1, whatever that story.
I'm not disagreeing.
Great, like I love that his superpower is his will of being a man. I just think that's like such
I'm down with it. I'm not. It's not. You don't have to defend Batman. I love Batman.
Right. No, it's not defending. I'm
talking more like Snyder's take on everything. And how he sees the world. The guy who made Watchmen also wrote those movies, and he didn't separate them, and that's my problem. And it's okay because people love them. and I'm not one of those people that says they can't have their flavor. You know, like you can have your flavor, your
That's what it
Batman, your
is,
Superman.
Bob. It's
But
just a flavor. It at the end
I
of the day,
would
that's all it
really
is. It's a flavor.
appreciate. I'd really appreciate like another. After this, I hope we get.
I
something,
promise you're going to
you know.
get one.
I
They're
do.
never going to stop. They're never
Then
going to
again,
stop.
like I said, that TV show is fucking great, so I'm kind of satisfied.
And you know what's funny when people say, Jeff, who is your favorite live action Batman altogether? And this surprises a lot of people, but I think the person thus far.
Let me guess.
Who do you think I'm going to say?
Val Kilmer.
Yes.
I mean, I kind of got that from earlier. I kind of got it from earlier, but
no,
yeah.
I'm telling you though, his Batman and his Bruce Wayne are spot on, dude. They're just like, he is a phenomenal
you're not the only
Batman.
person I've heard people say that. Other people say
dude.
That. So
he just fucking, even though Two-Face is such a mess in probably the messiest aspect of that. It's not the way Two-Face looks. I get super fine with that. It's just that he's so slapsticky. That's like the one.
He's slapsticky and he's like half Joker. He's like almost the Joker in that
he's
movie.
almost the Joker.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing that sucks about that movie.
Yeah.
But you know, just the way that just what he does when he calls him Harvey, when he's just like, Harvey, you need help. Like I'm just like, that's Batman. When he's talking to Dr. Chase Meridian and he's talking about like he's kind of letting her in, but he's also kind of, like, I'm like, that is Bruce Wayne. Like he nailed it. He nails it perfectly. And you know, I'm not a fan of the Nolan verse Batman.
Dude, we agree.
Holy shit.
We agree. I absolutely
hate what a fucking mess.
So I guess in a way,
it's not
I've kind of just like low grade disliked DC movies since Nolan kind of came in the picture. I like a lot of DC movies. I actually really like Shazam, and I like Wonder Woman and stuff. But like
loved Wonder Woman, liked Suicide Squad was good.
I did not like Suicide Squad, but I liked aspects of it.
What else came out that was? Oh, I loved. You're gonna laugh at me for this. I loved Aquaman, and do you know why I loved Aquaman so much? Because it was like Flash Gordon under the sea.
It was Flash Gordon and Masters of the Universe,
and I loved it. Yeah, I was so happy. I was so happy.
How's this? I appreciate
Octopus
Aquaman.
Playing a giant drum.
I appreciate the silliness of Aquaman. I just think it's a little too long. It's really long. It's super long, but it did make $1 billion, so whatever. Yeah. Shazam's more my speed. You know,
I haven't seen it yet. I'm
excited. Shazam's it's like a light comedy. You know what I mean? But it's also got aspects of like, you know, family and Superman and all that shit in there. So, but the Nolan movies I do not like. I hate the Nolan movies. I hate Lucius Fox as a character.
Okay. Batman Begins is okay.
That's the best one.
That one's okay, especially. But you know, I was really kind of stoked at the time when Batman Begins came out because I was like, oh my god, like they're harking in on aspects of the character that we've never seen in live action, like the way that he kind of stalks his prey and like comes down and comes up, and he's, you know, the fight scenes were really interesting.
But the third act.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: the over at the end of the day, the moment that Christian Bale opens his mouth,
it's awful.
I just go, what the fuck? And then in the Dark Knight, the moment that Harvey Dent puts a gun to someone's head and Bruce Wayne covers for him, I go, Bruce Wayne would never do that. The moment that Harvey Dent acted that way, he's on the opposite, because that's the thing about Batman. Batman is black and white when it comes to the law. He's uncompromising, like Rorschach, right?
It's odd to me that you say this, but be okay with Batfleck in the portrayal in the movies. Like Ben Affleck, Ben Affleck's good as Batman. I think he is. But his portrayal in the movies, I think, is just as marred as.
It's a different iteration. I mean, listen, I'm okay with Michael Keaton's portrayal of Batman, and he kills people. But like, you know, what annoyed me about the Nolan Batman was
just the fact that Batman doesn't do anything. That Lucius Fox built everything. I hate that so much. Lucius Fox is the worst character in Batman lore ever. I fucking hate him. Like,
I'm not expecting this from you.
I mean, Morgan Freeman rules. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman's awesome, but like Batman in the Nolan movies, he's barely a detective. He doesn't build anything.
No, he's not. Yeah,
he quits for 8 fucking years.
So stupid.
It's so terrible. I'm like, why do I care about this guy? Sucks.
I could take it on. You could hunt me. Like, it's just so dumb.
And on top of it, I'm just gonna say it.
Frame me. I'll let them frame me. Ugh.
I fucking hate his suit so vehemently. I hate the
Yeah,
way
the
Batman
suit
looks
is
so
bad.
goddamn much. It's
It's a
so
bad suit.
awful. It's
It's a
such a
bad
bad
suit,
suit.
man.
My
And
God, do I
and you
hate
know
it.
what's funny? And you know what's funny? And then you go back and people are like, The Dark Knight, it's one of the greatest comic book films ever made. But like
Heath Ledger deserved the Oscar. He did.
100% deserved the
100%. No
Oscar.
one's saying, if
Best
anyone's listening to this, we're not saying that.
best thing about that movie is the Joker. And I've watched
Yeah.
that movie multiple times because of the Joker, but
Right.
not because of Batman. However, in Batman Forever,
You
there's a
really
whole
like
scene.
Batman Forever.
Well, hold on a second. There's a whole scene. It's the only live action film where Batman actually does detective work. He's
Yeah, you're right.
actually trying to figure out the Riddler's clues. You never see Batman do any deduction work in anything live action. He just doesn't do that. And the reason
It takes up too
why-
much screen time.
but the reason, but
Yeah.
the funny thing is that a huge part of the character is that he is a detective and the world's greatest one at that. And so that's why it just boggles my mind. I'm like, dude, they did everything good in this movie. And even I went back and I watched the fight scenes, like the way he fights, not in Batman and Robin as much, but Batman Forever, the choreography is great. It's great. It's a great Batman movie. It's a good Batman movie.
Do you understand anyone listening to your channel right now, hearing us talk about Christopher Nolan's Batman like that, and then hearing you talk about Batman Forever like that's like the most unpopular fucking opinion. It's so great.
I just don't give a fuck because that's
No,
just
that's
what,
fine.
you
No,
know,
I generally agree because I think people have a lot of people come to the light on Nolan's Batmans because Dark Knight Rises is a fucking travesty.
I watched it only one
It's just
time
awful.
in the theater. I've never watched it again.
Dude, it's honestly like I like Nolan as a filmmaker. I hate those movies.
Yeah,
I like
Prestige. Prestige is a freaking
Prestige
phenomenal movie.
Interstellar is one of my favorite movies of the last
Love
decade,
Interstellar.
man.
You know what I love about Interstellar more than anything? And it's such a hokey Hollywood concept, but it's so
The love
worked
thing?
in this movie. Yeah, the idea that
Yeah,
love is the most powerful force in the universe. And I was
It's
like,
also
it's
also like
fucking
ballsy.
beautiful, man.
It's ballsy.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
but it's just fucking it
But
works
like
so well
I don't
for that
hate
movie.
I don't hate Nolan. I just
Yeah.
hate that it's like a producer problem for me. He should have never made Batman movies because he turned Batman into something else. Just how I view
He
my
turned it
problem
into
with
something
Snyder.
that interested him in the same way that Tim Burton focused on Rogues Gallery, like Batman Returns, which I love. Batman Returns.
Oh yeah,
death.
I feel like we've talked. Did we talk about it?
I don't know if we spoke about this, but but it's not a Batman movie. It's the villain's movie. Batman is an afterthought, and that's because Tim Burton was like, "Oh, I got to do another one of these Batman movies." Well, oh my God, this Penguin guy is so much cooler than Batman. Oh, the Catwoman in this black spandex. Yeah, it's great, man.
It works,
like oh my God, does it work?
Totally
and it holds
works,
up.
yeah.
And it holds up even to this day. It holds up. And again, I think Keaton is one of the worst Batmen ever.
He's my favorite.
Oh my God. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah,
Batman
dude.
would never, ever say that or do that. Ever.
He's still my favorite one.
You want to get nuts? Let's get
nuts. That's like one of my favorite quotes in movie history.
But you want to know something? But I can overlook that because I still think in those films, the real essence of those films and the character is the Gotham, the city.
Yeah.
And the rogues, obviously, too. But the Gotham itself is so wonderful that it makes everything in those movies work. Really,
they
really
have
well.
they really have a vibe to them. They do.
Yeah.
I mean, Burton gave them a vibe, and they're more like it's funny how when they came out, when like Batman '89 came out, and everyone was like, God, it's so fucking dark and gritty,
right?
And now it's like you look at Nolan or Snyder versus that. Now that looks like Batman '66 comparatively. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's so hokey, but I'm like, to me, that amount of both is the perfect for me.
One of the worst things about the sorry, I cut you off. Finish what you were doing.
No, I'm saying that you got to so in one of the things we talk about a lot on my script podcast is tone, and Jamie Nash, the genius Jamie Nash, he always talks about how when you're writing a script, a great way to choose your tone is to make a scale of Batman movies. He's good, and you go all the way from Batman 66, and you write a timeline of every Batman versus tone from silly to serious. So you'd have like Batman 66 to Christopher Nolan. Probably Zack Snyder would be just before Christopher Nolan, somewhere around there. Lego Batman would be down near 66. You know what I mean? And you put them all there, and then you decide, where does my movie that I'm writing, my genre movie, on this tonal scale lie?
Wow, that's very interesting.
Because Batman's had so many tones.
Right.
Everyone on Earth can pick their favorite tone of Batman. It's like,
right. That's why I'm saying when you were talking about like how you felt about some of the other Snyder films, you know, that's the thing, that none of us should ever be upset about how these movies come out, because at the end of the day, we know two things. One, this is a valid, even if it's painful, technically valid in some way, shape, or form on the spectrum. And two, they're going to do another version of this character, because the character can be redone in so many different ways. One of my least favorite parts of the Nolan verse is the fact that they used Chicago as Gotham City. They literally just used, and I was living in Chicago. I knew people that worked on The Dark Knight. I applied to be a production assistant on The Dark Knight. I did not get in all the spots.
That's why you hate it. You didn't get the job.
God damn it. I didn't get the job.
Right.
No, but my point is that like, so when I saw it in the theater, I'm going, this is not Gotham. This is Chicago. And it looks like Chicago. And I was so taken out. Like, that's why those early Batman films, and especially the Schumacher ones, those films work so well, because we are transported to Gotham City.
I'd even argue, I hate to give credit to Bryan Singer, but I'd even argue that Superman Returns looks like Metropolis. It does not look like New York.
I like Superman Returns.
I do. The character's intact. That's Superman. You could argue about the plot and a lot of the other stuff, but that's definitely Superman. That's the Superman I love.
Yeah, that was not that.
I hate Bryan Singer, but it's the Superman.
Yeah, well, we all hate Bryan Singer, but you know, listen. And again, another huge can of worms conversation we don't have to get into right now is also the idea of, you know, there's different levels where we can hate the artist versus the art.
The art, that's like, way bigger than yeah.
But my point is just that, like, it's a lot harder to listen to comedy from a comedian that you should hate or that you might hate than it is to say a film and a filmmaker where it's like this thing that's where you don't have to see the director. The director's not speaking on camera, literally, like seeing their face.
You can love Brandon Routh as Superman. It has nothing.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. So it's like there are different, because there are different levels of separation. So we can automatically go, yeah, fuck Bryan Singer. We all hate Bryan Singer. But that's, Superman,
Superman Returns is, while it might not have been a knockout of the park success, or it might not have been even exactly what I want, I still really like it. And that is the Superman that was tailored to me more. You know, I wouldn't mind Zack Snyder visuals with that tone.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I want.
That's great. That would be a good tone.
That's what the new Superman TV show is doing. It's giving you Zack Snyder's visuals.
Man of Steel, which was technically produced by Nolan, you could tell they're like trying to kind of hedge their bets. They're like, we're coming off hot off of the Nolan verse, which was well received with the Dark Knight and whatnot. We want to make sure we hit Superman out of the park. Let's lean in on the Nolan stuff, and that's why you don't get. It's not a campy Superman. It's a very realistic Superman, and I do love that Kryptonian mythology at the beginning of
that's cool.
It's a lot of fun.
If for as much as I like hate, I could talk about it for hours. I'm trying not to, but
we got to wrap this up.
Like I've watched it several times. I own Man of Steel. For as much as I hate Man of Steel, I love it. So you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a typical hater here. Like,
I get it.
I love Man of Steel. I also fucking hate it. A different part of my brain fucking hates it, like, a lot. And for several specific reasons. But like, I can't say I fall asleep to the soundtrack sometimes, man. Like, I can't say I hate it.
There you go.
So
one of the things that I hated more than anything in that film was when he and you're probably going to give me some reason why that had to happen. Maybe that I'm not looking at it from a screenwriting perspective, but I hated it. That
when he let his dad die, it's fucking stupid.
It was the dumbest.
It's easily the worst part of the movie, without question. Yeah,
I thought you might be like, well, Jeff, actually, the reason.
No. That's terrible. That's like Zack Snyder's Martha moment for that movie.
that was an atrocious choice, because I was like, there's absolutely no reason on earth. And I guess you would
Zack Snyder did not sell it to the audience that needed to happen. It's fucking stupid.
Absolutely did not
Yeah.
need to happen, and was just it was like, we need to have this moment of sacrifice for him. And
honestly, it's funny. That's the problem. It's not just bad. It's funny. I remember seeing it in the theater, and and when he puts his hand out and he dies, and I remember people laughing. Like, it was that.
You want to know something? I felt way more pathos for him when he kills Zod, which I thought,
yeah.
Probably the most powerful point is that here he is literally murdering the only other one that's like him, because he won't stop killing people, which was just what a powerful moment. So anyway, WandaVision. So what happens, again, so I don't know. This was a one-shot series where there's not going to be a WandaVision season 2.